Welcome back, everyone, to
Welcome back.
Plato and Aristotle, the Plato and Aristotle
We've
podcast.
we've been gone for a really long time.
Well, we were on holiday for Halloween, so
for Halloween that hasn't even happened yet.
No, but everybody knows that Halloween happens before Halloween, and
everybody knows that for 6 years, Halloween is on a stupid day of the week because it's inconsistent. And then for like 1 year we get it on a Friday, and 1 year we get it on a Saturday, and then we have to suffer through 6 more years of Halloween being on a stupid day of the week. Yeah. So Halloween weekend is like 3 weekends long, and everybody freaks out because they're like, "What weekend is Halloween weekend? What weekend are you guys doing Halloween weekend?" Just do it like 4 times. There's not one weekend.
I also would venture to say that you need to plan Halloween weekend to be happening in October still. So this year, Halloween is on Thursday. So once it's no longer October, it's not Halloween.
The weekend before.
How stupid do you look wearing your Halloween costume on November 1st? Idiot. Why are you doing that?
Idiot.
You can't do that.
Which day of it is Halloween? No. Because the Day of the Dead is the 1st, isn't it? The Mexican holiday?
Yes.
Dia de los Muertos? I think it's on November 1st. So now you're encroaching on
cultural appropriation.
Now you're encroaching on a different holiday, bro. You cannot be celebrating Halloween. We're not celebrating spooky stuff on the Day of the Dead in terms of like loving your family and friends. That shit doesn't fly. I don't know if your family is like this, but like we kind of do like hard holidays, not in the sense of like it can only be on that day, but my family is very much like Halloween is October. November 1st, boom, it's Thanksgiving time. December 1st, boom, it's Christmas time. Like my dad won't listen to Christmas music until after Thanksgiving.
No, I agree.
And like my mom is putting down that Christmas tree on January 1st or like the 2nd.
Yeah, pretty much.
Because her family had a weird thing of like we don't leave the tree up in January because it makes my mom feel like we're being lazy.
No, I feel the same way. We do the same thing. It's like the tree is going up and Christmas music is now
December 1st.
On not even December 1st.
Or close
just
to.
Usually the weekend right after Thanksgiving. Like that weekend we have leftovers and we do all of our Christmas decorating. And then, honestly, there has been Christmases of recent in my mom's house where it is Christmas Day and my mom is like, we're undecorating the house because she's sick of it. So we've done that a little bit. I'm not a huge fan of that. That's a little bit too early for me, but I am a fan.
Yeah, you want to at least enjoy looking at the tree for that whole day. Yeah.
I think British people have not been
we're
onto
like the
very
first
much,
week of January.
They were onto something with Boxing Day.
It's true. And then usually, not every year, because I think that holiday is more, I don't know if Kwanzaa's based on the lunar calendar or not, but I actually have no idea what it's based on. But my birthday is on the 27th, and usually that's the start of Kwanzaa. So it's usually like, holiday's over.
Yeah.
Different holiday starts right now. Cut that shit off. Put that shit down. But we also have that joke because when I was born, my dad put me under the tree. So they like having the tree up at least for my birthday because it makes my parents giggle. Which also makes me giggle inadvertently. But also, like, you put a newborn baby under a pine tree? Christmas pine?
A real one?
What's wrong with you? No.
Oh, I was like, you guys do real trees? I was like, oh my god.
I'm just kidding. And then a rabid squirrel came out of the tree.
I just was thinking,
a la National Lampoon.
No, like baby's first
Christmas.
Like anaphylactic shock. So a lot of people are allergic to those. So,
yeah, the real ones, yeah, for sure.
2 days fresh, immediately.
Covered.
Immediately.
No, yeah, I think, I mean, Halloween, working in a haunted house has definitely showed me that, like, Halloween is one of my favorite holidays because I'm so depressed to be, like, missing a lot of Halloween stuff. And, like, we had that Halloween party, which was fun, but, like, I love dressing up, and we're not allowed to dress up at work. I asked, like, I wasn't going to wear, like, a costume because people need to be able to see me, but like, can we do like fun makeup? And they're like, no. I'm like, oh, okay.
Okay, cool.
Perfect.
Thanks.
Even though our house has nothing to do with vampires, I can't like have fake blood. They're like, no. So, oh,
right.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Cool, thanks.
But there's supposed to be like an after party at a club.
Okay.
The week after we end. So I'm excited about that. And that has a costume contest.
Oh, nice.
So I was like, I'm going to go all out.
wait, in November?
And win. Yes.
Wow.
When it's no longer Halloween.
When it's no longer Halloween.
You know what?
It's
do as I
different,
say,
though.
Do as I say, not as I do.
Well, it's also different when you aren't giving you are not given the opportunity to be doing Halloween in October. Like, you've been robbed because of the haunted house. But for anyone else, why are you dressing up the weekend? If you have nothing going on the weekend prior to Halloween, and Halloween's in the middle of a week, why are you saving it until post-Halloween in November? Inappropriate. Don't do that. So, anyways,
crazy. Which, well, actually, I have 2 talking points that like branch out from this. Okay. But also, welcome to episode 11. I don't think we ever said that.
We said welcome back. We said welcome back.
Yeah, that's true. It's episode 11. We need to, this isn't one of my talking points, but I just thought of it. We need to, like, think of an intro. Because we don't have, like, a formal, like, intro. Like, should we edit, like, you know how TMG, does, like, it's like both it's like both their laughs.
Right.
And then like the like what was it? Like the spaceship alien thing.
Yeah.
Or like the Broski reports like she's like on broadcast television. Like we need something like that. Well, but I don't know what that would be. Cuz I'm trying to think like what is the essence like of what is the essence of our podcast?
Well, it's really hard to think of an intro for your podcast when the theme of your podcast technically
is that it's a podcast.
Well, and also existed before the technological age.
This is true. Should I do I don't know why, but I'm thinking of like okay, at Epcot. And the Spaceship Earth ride at Epcot. You know how you go through like history and there's little scenes. Okay. Oh, you've never been on it.
I haven't been, but
and the Spaceship Earth at Epcot, the point of Spaceship Earth is you're going through human history. So it starts at like cavemen and then it goes all the way up until the invention of the internet in the 80s? 80s? So that's fun. It's like about 50 years missing.
Okay.
but they get pretty close. So there is a part though where you go through ancient Greece, and I don't remember what Judi Dench says, but she says something about like the scholarly people in Athens. Like these boys are learning how to do math. And should we do something like that?
Yeah, no, I think we totally could. I would say that...
Should we take that audio clip and just put it in ours copyrighted?
Yeah, and maybe let's cut all the parts that are not applicable to us. So scholarly boys learning math. So what do we have left to work with?
What are we talking about
not
here?
Any of those things.
What are we talking about on here, though? We're just 2 boys talking about mathematics. I don't know. I don't know what... What are you trying to say? Maybe that's the intro. It's not even a song. It's just me saying, we're 2 boys talking about mathematics. But, like, genuinely, though, I don't even know what does ancient Greece sound like? You know? Like, how, you know how, like, horror podcasts... Death. Well, you would know. You listen to the true crime ones. Like, how do they start theirs? Like a blood-curdling scream?
No, they all have, like, weird techno music. All the ones that I listen to, which is what I don't... Like, I guess I'm not anti that, but... Yeah,
no,
weird
but
techno
we don't
music,
give that
that's not
vibe.
really our vibe.
Our vibe would be, like, a shrieking violin.
Should we just get the scream from Kissland? The Weeknd.
Yeah, there we go.
And just
one. That's what starts the podcast.
Just one blood-curdling scream, and then it's like, hey guys, welcome back. This is episode 11.
Oh.
When I got on stage. Yeah.
No, that would be good. It would be like, well, okay, so this actually was one of my talking points. I was just thinking it would be like the, wake up, Mr. West, and then we just start. But one of my talking points was I came close to Kanye West. Like, a person's length away from him.
So, was he wearing...
the haunted house.
Was he wearing his, like, all-black fit where he also does, like, the mask and you can't see him at all, really, besides, like, his hands? Except for not... I think he wears gloves, though, too, sometimes, so maybe not even.
I don't know, but I was...
you got close to the apparition of him.
Yeah, to his hologram, if you will. Yeah, so he came through with...
well, you also know that people keep saying that he's dead.
No, I did not see that.
Oh, you didn't know that? You didn't see that? He said it somewhere, like, once upon a time, where it was, like, if I'm doing this, or if I go away for a while or something, and I come back, like, that's not me. And so everybody's like, Kanye's dead, and it's not him, and whatever, it's, like, somebody else, and they keep saying, like, whenever he's, like, made appearances or paparazzi pictures or whatever, and he's not wearing his mask, that it doesn't look like his face. I'm not...
So he Avril Lavigne'd himself?
Basically. I'm not saying anything. I have no opinion on that. I tend to think
that
that's
would be
probably
hilarious
fake, and
because
he's just having some mental health problems, but interesting.
It would be really funny, though, because that would mean that... which is totally fitting, but... So, Northwest's grieving process was doing an interview with Vogue and then going to the Chromacopia listening tour.
Yeah.
The opener. That's her grieving process.
I wish that was my grieving
process. And Kim as well.
That's my dream grieving process.
Hello? You saw that video of Northwest, right? Where she's like, what's up? I'm Kanye West. And then Kim Kardashian tells her that she was on, like, a Vogue cover when she was a baby, but she peed on Kanye. And North was like, is that AI? And everyone's like, North is so funny. And I'm like, I can't. I'm not going to have a solid opinion because she is a literal child. Yeah. So I don't think that's very fair.
She, like 12, 11?
12 or 13, I think, at this point. She's getting there. But Northwest, and it's the same with Blue Ivy, where I feel like it's so weird to me that they're still so young. Because in my mind, I'm like, you guys aren't, like, 17? Like, hurry up. But then I'm like, well, I was like 12 when they were announced as being born.
I was going to say, right? So in my head, they are permanently, like, 7.
2.
No, in my head, they're permanently, like, 7, because when they were 7, I was, like, 17. That's not true. I was older than that, but you know what I mean. So I think that that's like, I don't, like, pay attention to them until I get a TikTok that's like, Blue Ivy on stage at Beyonce's tour, and then I'm like, holy shit, that's a preteen.
They are clothes.
Like, this is a human being, not a, like, little child.
Yeah, I know. So I feel bad for her in that sense that, like, when she does become an adult, it's just kind of like, you know, free reign. But for the time being, though, Northwest is a literal child. But it is kind of silly, like, watching her in all these interviews now, because I'm like, wow, you really are Kanye West's kid. Like, damn. Like, not even in the way that she looks, but just the way that she is. I'm like, ooh. But then I saw this really old video of Kim Kardashian from, like, high school the other day, and I'm like, because everybody was, like, you know, being like, she's her father's daughter and blah, blah, blah. But in this video of Kim Kardashian, she literally is Northwest in that video.
Oh,
like,
really?
She's all like, I'm the most popular girl in school and everybody loves me. Because she's like 16. I mean, she's a kid too in that video. So she just is like being silly.
Herself,
But I'm like, wow, that's Northwest. What are those? They're clothes.
Well, I'm honestly surprised that North wasn't with him.
Okay, yeah. So he arrived with this blonde woman, and Tyga was there. Now, I don't know if the blonde woman was with Tyga or with Kanye. I'm assuming she was with Tyga because I feel like it'd be weird for... This is what's silly, right? Because it's like, is it weirder for Tyga to third wheel Kanye or for Kanye to third wheel Tyga?
Well, Kanye, I think, is going through a divorce.
He's divorced. Yes, he's divorced from
Bianca.
I don't remember her name. Bianca. Thank you.
You know why I know all this information too? I should probably say it's not because I'm like a Kanye West super fan. It's the Daily Mail. The Daily Mail constantly updating me on their relationship. So
yeah, as they should. But yeah, so there were just 3 of them, and I saw you always see the bodyguards first because it's a little hard to notice sometimes because like technically they're supposed to have like park security with them as well, but I don't think park security comes through the house. It's just their security. So like so I saw Chapel Roan one night, and then the next night I saw Kanye West. So with Chapel Roan there was no security with her in the house, but Kanye and Tyga did. And I don't know what that was about because it's like I didn't even recognize him. I recognized Tyga of all people. And I was like, wait. I was there for King Kylie. What's going on with you? So it was only till after they were like Kanye. It was Kanye, and I was like, because he walked past me, so it's like I did see him, but he's head to toe covered, and it's dark as fuck in there. So I was like, I don't know who that is. Like I thought he was honestly one of the security guards for Tyga. But the part of the house that I was in, there's no scares, so I totally like full on saw them walk past me because it was in like a lighter part. And then with Chapel Roan, I was in a different part of the house, but I saw her face, so I recognized her. And then when I walked outside, one of the actors was like, I just scared Chapel Roan. And then they were singing Hot to Go in the break room, and I was like, okay, so it was her. Because sometimes you don't know, you're like, right. You look like Stevie Nicks. But yeah, that was crazy. And then everybody kept being like, what would you have said to him? And I was like, I would have said, good morning, Kanye.
I was gonna say.
And then he probably would have said, shut the fuck up.
Wake up, Mr. West.
Yeah.
That would
have actually money off the product. Look at Gaga. I was gonna say I wouldn't have said anything because I would have gotten fired, but in a perfect world, I probably would have thrown out the "Hey, good morning, Kanye" bit, or I would have started the "In the night I hear him talk." Yeah. I don't know. So that was silly, and then the worst part though was all of my coworkers, not all of them, but some of them being like, "I love Kanye." Like, I was like, this was cool in you are a major figure of pop culture moment.
Yeah.
But I'm not geeking out over, like, I love Kanye. Like, I appreciate his input in, like, the history of, like, rap and, like, putting stuff on, like, the, like helping make it have more of, like, a name for itself and whatever, but, like, lately, within like the past like 15 years, Kanye has not been like the best person.
Cool. Like, it still would be cool to see Kanye now, but it would have been super cool to see Kanye like
even 10 years ago,
7 years ago.
Like, yeah. pre-Trump, Kanye would have been great.
Yeah.
So I was a little bit like, yeah, fuck you, So, and that way too, I think it's kind of silly because in my mind, I'm like,
that's actually awesome, so true. I just said 6-7
nothing
years ago.
To do with you.
I meant 10 years ago. But I went,
isn't that crazy?
When was that? So, yeah, probably a decade ago.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah,
we've been living in this world like this for 10 years. But it's true. But yeah, I was like, okay, awesome. Like, I don't know. I'm not so much so that I would have like, I wouldn't be like, fuck you, like to his face. Like, I wouldn't do that to anybody. But like,
yeah,
I'm especially not going to sit here and be like, oh, I love Kanye West. I'm so sad I didn't get to see him. Like, I was like, that was cool because it's probably the physically as close as I'm ever going to get to these people. Mm-hmm. So that was kind of trippy. It was like, that's so weird to think about. Like, I literally was like a foot away from him in a weird, like, I know it's such a weird way to like not meet, but like be close to these people. I'm not trying to be parasocial, but it just was like,
no, but
it's like being close to like the president. It's like, why am I this physically close to Kanye West?
It's like being next to the president is insane. But you're telling me that you didn't get in your car and listen to Carousel?
Hey, vote for Kanye. Huh?
You didn't
get in my car and listen to Carousel?
That was the perfect answer.
Carousel?
Huh? What? Let's move on.
You mean carnival?
Oh, what did I say?
Go,
go! Carousel's Travis Scott. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, King. That's my bad.
No, I didn't get in and listen to Carnival, although they were bumping, they were actually bumping Heartless, but they were bumping, I Love It. You're such a fucking,
yeah.
Because our cleaning crew plays music after the park closes, and they were bumping a lot of Kanye after that. But they weren't bumping Chapel. When she came, I was like, hello? I see where your loyalties lie. But, and then the guy who does Olaf, Josh Gad, came through, and I was up at the front checking for the express passes. And so they have like weird groups sometimes. I think this is what Kanye did too. But like you're not really part of the like VIP experience. You have your own VIP experience, so there's like less attention. Because our VIP gets like badges and they have glow wands to like lead them through the line. Mm-hmm. Whereas these are like smaller groups of like just you and your family, and like a park lead will come through and like take you through and then you'll immediately exit. Like it's not meant to be a big song and dance number. And so Josh Gad was in one of these groups, and they start to come through and I'm checking the badges just to make sure that nobody's trying to sneak in with them. And they know that, so they're showing it to me. And he's standing right in front of me, and I know who he is because I'm, Broadway, and I've watched Frozen and all this stuff. And he's a new girl too, and I was like, it's Bear Claw. But I'm trying to be like chill, right? So I'm like, okay, cool, you guys are good. And one of the girls, I don't know if it was his daughter or honestly, I thought he was gay. I haven't looked it up. I don't know, but there was like a girl who was like, she says like, Daddy, I lost my badge. She's like 8. So first of all, I'm like, why are you here? But second of all, she lost her badge, which is really bad because they can't get around without it. In a different house, the one that's across from us. So he's like standing in front of me, and the girl and another guy go over back into the other house to get the badge or like try to find it. And there's nobody coming up to express. So it's just me staring at Josh Gad. So in my mind, I'm like, do I be like, welcome, or like, is that bad? So we're just standing there, and he's just not talking to anybody. And the other guide is like, the guide that they had was trying to figure out the pass thing. I think she went back with them. So I eventually was like, you're welcome to wait right here. It's just that if another RIP group comes through, I have to let them ahead of you if that's okay with you guys, like, just because I have to keep it moving.
Right.
So that's how I kind of like started the conversation, is I was like, you're welcome to wait, but I have to let them through. I can't have them wait behind you. It's not fair. And he was like, oh yeah, like, of course, like, that's not a big deal. And there's still nobody there. So I'm like, how has your night been? Like, welcome to the park. Like, we're so happy to have you. And he goes, it's been better. Because of course, right? So I'm like, oh yeah,
oh, man.
Hopefully they'll find it. I'm sure it's not a big deal. Like, it'll be okay. I said, people lose stuff here all the time. And that was kind of it. But it just was kind of silly because it's like, of course we're not allowed to be like, hey, love your work. Hi, Olaf, love you. So I wasn't doing that, but I was trying to be like, I'm not going to not be like, hi, welcome, if I get the opportunity, because
of course
there was nothing else to do. I mean, there was nobody else standing in front of me to check their passes. And so it just was kind of silly.
And like,
Kanye was already out the door. Chapel was on her way in. Like, I don't know what you guys want me to do. But how silly would it have been if that was Kanye? That would have been so fucking funny.
So
if like
funny.
North dropped her pass, like, back in the whatever,
and can you imagine,
Kanye West,
like, I mean, I know he's a normal
like,
person, but
I
was gonna say, can you imagine his response to that though? Like, how's your night?
He wouldn't have talked to me, probably.
Scared.
His security wall would probably just be like, continue to do your job, thank you so much.
Yeah, I would have been
like,
scared
to be a jerk.
to like try to make conversation for fear that he would have been like,
which is funny
you.
because like the person
like,
who lets you into our
like,
our shit, like, most of our people at the very front are very talkative, because we're supposed to be. We're supposed to be like, welcome in, like, you can't bring food. So when they came out, they were like, I talked to him. And then half the other people were like, no, you didn't. Because He's not gonna say shit, girl. He's not gonna speak. He's wearing a mask, first of all.
Vibe at the moment.
And he's not like a friendly guy. So I'm like, bullshit. You stood there and were like, welcome in, like, come on through. How are you tonight? Like,
yeah,
nobody did that, girl. Not a single person did that. But that was quite silly. Quite silly. I was like, oh, it's all off.
The celeb sightings are crazy.
I know, and they're all coming at once. Like, I saw literally nobody for the first, like, month.
Yeah.
And now it's like, now that it's, like, close to Halloween,
right,
which is when this event should be happening, everybody wants to come. I was not expecting Kanye, though. I was like, hello? What are you doing here? Yeah, and then, so, I also wanted to talk to you, I want to talk about that, but, I also wanted to talk to you about the Timothée Chalamet lookalike contest that just happened in New York City.
So he showed up.
And I want to ask you why we weren't there. Why weren't we there?
There's nowhere else in the world that I would want to be more, and also could not bear to be there any less. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Exactly.
That sounds like the most insufferable place. Also, Timothée Chalamet showed up to his lookalike contest.
He did.
And
they said, like, Jesus at, like if Jesus showed up on Christmas, Christmas Mass.
So he showed up, and things escalated with the lookalikes, and there were lookalikes getting arrested.
Yeah.
And
2 accounts of police brutality.
The organizers, like the police were fining people. I don't remember what the number was, like $200 or something, because it was an unofficial costume contest that they like didn't have the official whatever setup that they needed to be doing that at Washington Square Park. So people were getting fined, people were getting arrested, and in the midst of all of that,
I expected nothing less.
Timothée Chalamet parting the
Lisan
sea.
Al-Gaib
parting the sea to wade through with his security and sign autographs and prove that it doesn't matter how many of you think you look like me, none of you are me.
There's only one.
I'm
one of one.
So
I'm the only one. Don't even waste your time trying to compete with me. So what I was going to ask you is... Stupid. I don't even want to ask it. It's stupid. Do you think Timothée Chalamet substanced out all these lookalikes?
I think that's why, like, that's why some of them were really
decent,
gremlin looking, because it's like,
yeah,
when there's like Demi Moore, which is Timothée Chalamet, and then there was the Margaret Qualleys, which is the lookalikes who actually look like him, and then it was the ones who are just little gremlin boys who are the monsters that were born of Margaret Qualley's back.
There was a good, I was gonna say, it was pretty a Timothée Chalamet multiverse, diverse in that way of like, I like how they all came as like different versions of him. I was a little worried that like they were all gonna be like the same, but I saw a couple Dune. I saw the Willy Wonka one. Mm-hmm. I think the one that won was just dressed like a regular, like just in like a regular shirt, right? Like he wasn't like in a costume.
I don't know. I didn't see. I only saw this.
I thought that was the guy
fact
who
that
won,
he showed up, and
I'm like,
there was police presence.
Yeah, there's a police presence.
All I saw,
which is hilarious. Yeah, no, I think the guy that won it, he did look like him, but he was like a little bit more, like you were saying, like a little more gremlin looking. But I think he was just like, for a second, I'm like, oh no, is he beautiful boy Timothée Chalamet? Like he's just in like a sweater. Or like Kyle from Lady Bird. Like he looked like a normal bird. Like he wasn't in a costume.
Would have been a more normal option.
But you know what I mean? Like I was like, what Tim Chow are you? I think that's the one that won it, but I'm not 100% sure. Which will put us onto our movie hour, because I want to hear about your movie experience after.
Show me the winner.
So I still haven't. So I still haven't seen that movie. I haven't watched a movie in a while, actually. We watched Nightmare Before Christmas the other day, which is good. But I mean, like, a movie in the theater. Like, I haven't seen Joker yet. I haven't seen We Live in Time yet. I haven't seen SNL yet. I haven't seen a bunch of stuff.
So the guy that won... Sorry, not to bring it back, but I just found the picture.
No,
the guy that won was dressed as Wonka. I'm going to be honest. I don't think he looks that much like Timothy.
I thought it was the other guy.
I mean, he
Who
does.
Is this man?
No, it's him, I think.
But not
Look,
really.
Here he is with Here he is with the trophy.
I thought it was... The other guy looked much more like him. But I guess they're giving him more points for the costume.
His costume looks really good. But
which isn't fair because it's a look-alike contest. It's not a costume contest.
It's not fair. Timothy Chalamet.
You're supposed to be able to look like him.
Beautiful, though, I will say.
You like that mustache?
I do like the mustache he's got going right now? I do. I wish I didn't.
Did you see the subtle foreshadowing video that was on TikTok of there's like a paparazzi picture of him filming that movie he's doing right now in NYC, the Safdie brother movie. And he like walks past the post with the flyer that says there's a lookalike contest in his costume. And then it cuts to him showing up to the costume contest. So they were like subtle foreshadowing. I'm like, that's not he saw the flyer, but that's kind of so fucking funny. Is I'm filming this movie in New York. It's a Safdie Brothers movie, and I think Tyler the Creator is also part of it. I'm not entirely sure. And I walk past a flyer for my lookalike contest, and I go, I got the day off.
That's a movie in and of itself.
I'm gonna pull up. It's very like it's giving like Being John Malkovich, or like that. What was the other one that was like that? Have you seen Being John Malkovich?
No,
it's a freaky movie, but it's good. But it's like that in that movie, they like fall through this like Alice in Wonderland type like Coraline otherworldly like hole in the wall.
Okay.
And it transports them into John Malkovich. So when they go in the wall, they become him for like a certain amount of time, and then they get kicked out.
Weird.
And I would want to do that with Timothy Chalamet. I'd want to be Timothy Chalamet.
Oh, 100%.
In that moment.
Well.
In a sea of lookalikes?
Don't make me bring it back to this. But as we said during the substance episode, if I'm going to fall into anyone's life and be in their body, not like that, but like that if they so please, but in this parallel universe, it's gonna be Jungkook. So.
I know. I was gonna say he's like our Voldemort. You don't even have to say it, and I know who you're talking about.
So I went and saw a movie.
He who must not be named.
Yeah, let's pivot. Let's talk about the movie hour because
talk to me about
you haven't
the movie.
Seen any movies recently? Let me look at your letterbox.
No, I think the last movie I saw in theaters was Substance. Mm-hmm.
So,
no, it was Anora. I saw Anora.
Oh yeah, okay.
I watched Anora, which I'm very happy about. I really wanted to see that before it left, but I need to see Joker. I need to see SNL. I need to see We Live in Time.
Mm-hmm.
There's another one that I'm forgetting. I'm so fucking excited for Nosferatu, dude.
Me too.
At the AMC by me, I'll send you this TikTok. They have the coffin.
That's so
They have the coffin out on display, and I want a picture in front of it. So I'm thinking the next movie I'm going to see is probably We Live in Time, and I'm going to take a picture in front of it. Well, take a picture sitting on top of it, the way I'm meant to.
Yeah, please send me that because that's so.
I love you.
So dope, and
I love you, Nosferatu.
I'm so excited for that. I'm excited for Gladiator 2.
He is coming.
I'm excited for what else is coming out?
Wicked.
I'm excited for...
No, I'm not watching that.
I kind of am excited for Wicked. I don't know if I'll see it in theaters, but I'm excited for
I don't give a fuck about Wicked.
What
I'm
else
not
is coming
it.
out? Wait, I'm totally blanking now. Hold on. There's something else coming out at the same time. Wicked, Gladiator 2, and there's something else. It's more like Gladiator 2
on
vibes.
Thanksgiving? On Thanksgiving?
Yeah. Or close to.
I don't know.
I don't know. I'm totally blanking. It doesn't matter.
Here, I'm gonna look it up. Here, I'll look it up while you talk about We Live in Time.
Yeah, it's coming out on the 22nd or 27th. I can't remember. Because the reason I say that is because I was watching trailers last night because I went and saw We Live in Time last night. So, I won't give plot spoilers to you since you're going to go see it. But what I will say is I went in basically blind. Like, I didn't know anything about the movie. I didn't read anything about it beforehand. The only thing I knew was that she hits him with her car because the only scene that I had seen was the one where they're sitting in the neck diner. Brace. And he's in the neck brace, yeah. That's all I had seen from the movie. Didn't know anything else about it. And I knew that she was a chef. That's it.
Oh, The Apprentice. You watched that movie, too.
I did see The Apprentice, yeah.
Sorry, I'm looking at movies that are coming out.
I think we talked about that last time. Maybe not.
Yes.
Yeah. That's all I knew about the movie. So, first of all, I go in, and I get there at, like... The movie was going to start at 6:50. So I get there at, like, 6:30. Get my ticket. I was so hyped, because there was only supposed to be 2 other people in the theater, according to my screen. Where you pick your seat. I was like, this is perfect. That was inaccurate, because I get in there and I take my seat, and then literally immediately, there was a teenage couple in line right behind me. They come into the theater, and they're sitting, I picked the very back row, because the only other people that had picked seats already were sitting in, like, the middle of the theater. So I was like, well, I'll just sit in the back, it's fine. It's, like, not a big theater. This teenage couple chose to sit on the same back row as me. Fortunately, at, like, the far end of the row, though. Because these are pretty long rows. And I picked to sit, like, 5 seats in from the end of the row, which is relevant because, like, more people come in, they're sitting closer to the screen, so it doesn't matter. It's just me and this couple that's, like, way down the row from me. And I'm by myself at this movie. This group of 3 teenage girls comes in and sits directly next to me. So that there's the 3 of them, 1 seat, and then it's me. And we're just, like, kind of on our own in this back top corner of the theater. Whatever, it's fine. I'm not, like, I was a teenage girl. If I was a teenage girl right now, I would also be going to see the Andrew Garfield We Live in Time Florence Pugh movie. Like, I would be doing that. I'm not, whatever. Don't care. So, movie starts, and they're, like, giggling and talking and whatever during the, like, ads and the previews, which, again, don't care. I'm like, it's not the movie, it doesn't matter. Movie starts. They are, like, talking to each other, laughing, like, for, like, the first, probably, like, 45 minutes of the movie, they're kind of, like, doing that, and it was irritating me. But one thing about me that Aristotle knows is that I'm just not particularly confrontational, so I was like, it's fine. It's fine. It's whatever. I don't really care. Like, it is obnoxious, but I can kind of just block it out and watch the movie, and it's really not that big a deal. But finally, like, 45 minutes in, they start taking flash pictures sitting next to me.
Yeah.
And I was like, what? Like, not like back-facing flash, like, I don't know if anyone's familiar, but, like, when you can take the front-facing flash pictures on, like, Snapchat, I don't know if you can do it on, like, the regular camera now, but, you know, back in the day, front-facing flash on Snapchat, they're taking those. And they took, like, 2, and I was like, you know what? I might have to say something. They did that. There were these
2, like, preteen boys. Oh my god, no, this like, whenever the last Guardians movie came out, Guardians of the Galaxy 3, we took, my dad and my aunt came to see that for his birthday, and they were doing the same thing. They were taking flash pictures of each other in a full theater.
Yeah.
And I had to I stood up
yeah.
and walked over there and was like, stop doing it,
Yeah.
or I'm literally gonna pull your ass out of the theater, and
Yeah.
I'm being dead serious. Like,
so I'm usually like, especially
it's just so stupid.
It's so
like,
stupid.
Be a
It's
normal
so
person.
stupid, and I get so frustrated that people have like zero theater etiquette. And actually, I went and saw Smile too,
especially
like,
in a smaller town. Like, here it's been nice. Because people know how to be good in a theater.
It's crazy. So
for the most part,
I also went and saw Smile too, like 2 weeks ago, by myself. And like
a la Smile 1, but you also saw by yourself.
I also saw by myself. And honestly, like, shockingly, I was not expecting Smile 2 to be good, but I really enjoyed it. But when I came in, that was a big theater, because it was one of the, like, it wasn't IMAX, but like the what is it, the Dolby theater,
laser. Oh,
you know what I'm talking about? It was like a huge theater where like the sound is different. I don't really know how that works. I just know it was like a whatever.
Yeah.
Extreme. For Smile 2. And there was groups in there who were talking at full volume. Like, it's a huge theater, and I could not, genuinely, I'm being serious, could not have been sitting further away from them if I tried. And I could still hear their entire conversation. Also, that's hard to do. It's a horror movie, so it's loud. It's loud.
Yeah.
And we're in the Dolby theater where the volume is like, 10 times more intense than it would be in a regular theater. It was so
bringing earplugs.
Loud. I'm not kidding. I put my AirPods in, so it would like kind of muffle the noise, because I was like, like, this is so distracting.
Yeah.
But I didn't say anything because they were so far away from me that it would have been a whole thing for me to like get up and go like literally find them.
That's where you hope that like, somebody else near them would say something.
And I didn't really feel like my civic duty to say anything, because there was other people closer to them. So I was like, I'm not going out of my way to say something. Also, I'm by myself. Like, somebody who's here with their stupid boyfriend, have them say something, or I don't know. But this movie, they're like taking flash pictures, and I was like, no, I'm gonna have to say something. And I don't think that I've ever said anything to anyone in a movie theater. I usually just kind of suffer through and move on. But this is how you know it's bad, though, is that I leaned over to them and I said, hey. And they like all like jerked their head over to me. And I said, can you fucking stop? And they all were like, yeah, I'm sorry, we're trying. We're trying. We're trying to stop. You're taking flash photos. So I just said, thanks. And they stopped. But in my head, also, this is what's interesting. So after that, they did stop taking pictures, and they were still kind of whispering, but then they stopped. And then they were good for the rest of the movie. And I was like, that's amazing.
Do you know what they were whispering? They were going,
she's such a bitch.
She said that. She said that.
Yeah.
She said that.
Yeah. So I didn't really care. I was like, it really doesn't matter to me that much, because I'm just trying to enjoy this movie.
At this point, I'm too grown to like give a shit. I'm like, yeah.
But what was funny to me is two things. One,
flash pictures at the saddest movie.
I immediately re-traumatized them, because I was crying so hard in this movie by myself that I was audibly crying. Like, you could hear it. It wasn't like me and Aristotle saw the Iron Claw together, and like I was crying really hard in that, but I was keeping it together. You know what I mean? Like, I was like trying to be quiet, because we saw that in a really small theater. So I was like trying to be really quiet.
really quietly sobbing together.
Yeah. But in this movie theater, after they had been so fucking obnoxious, I was like, I'm not holding back anything. I don't care. So I'm sitting next to them crying, like probably the hardest I've cried in like 6 months. Like, crying loud. And they're sitting there silent. And I left the theater and my chest was wet, like from crying so hard that it had like come down my neck and like wet my t-shirt.
Ew.
And they were sitting there silent. But the other crazy thing to me is that I was convinced that they were like 13, 14 probably. Because I was like, I didn't see them when they came in because it was dark because the preview was already playing. But I was like, surely these are younger girls. No. They were definitely like seniors in high school because we left the theater and I watched them walk to their car. Like, I was like, we're gonna...
Perfect.
Because a little bit, I wouldn't have done this. This is, like, extreme even for me. But I was like, if your parents are picking you up, if I really wanted to be a bitch right now, I would go up to whoever's picking you up and be like, hey, just so you know, like, I sat right next to them in the theater and, like, I don't want to whatever, but it was the most miserable experience I've had watching a movie in the last, like, year. Which is not even saying that much, because every time I go to the theater, I feel like now, I have to deal with some level of that. But this was significantly worse because we were sitting so close. But also, let it be known, I picked my seat and then they picked their seat after me. So I'm like, you knew you were going to be sitting right next to someone. Which is just frustrating. So it doesn't matter.
I also just don't understand, like, I don't understand that. And I never have. And, like, I don't know. I'm not a talker during a movie. If it's a comedy or if, like, something relevant happens, I'll lean over and be like, pss, 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 and then that's it. But I'm not, like, an audible, like,
we've seen plenty of movies cheer, together where
I don't
we, like...
clap.
No.
I don't, like, make stupid comments. Like, I even roll my eyes when the Nicole Kidman ad comes on and somebody starts cheering. I'm like, girl.
Yeah.
This girl. But, like, I don't...
But, like, we've seen plenty of movies together where
that.
we are capable of, like, leaning over and in a really... Yeah, like, if I want to make a comment to you or whatever, doing that in a way that I genuinely don't feel like it's disrupting anyone, because we're not...
Taking away from anyone else's experience.
And I'm being... like, so quiet, and we're not holding a conversation, and we're not, like... We're not being obnoxious. I don't know. Like, it's frustrating because I was like, I've been a teenage girl going to the movies with my friends, but never did I ever act like that. Ever. Like, no, if I heard whispering from them every once in a while, I would have been like, yeah, whatever. Like, you're seeing a movie with your friends. But it was like, they were being so obnoxious that when they weren't, like, taking flash pictures and laughing, I could hear them being like, wait, what's happening? Wait, she what?
Yeah.
Wait, I was like, so you're not even fucking watching the movie. Like, that's why you're being obnoxious because you're being obnoxious, but you're also hindering your own experience. And the bottom line that's frustrating to me is, why are you here? Why you made the choice to do an activity where you're supposed to be quiet because everyone else is trying to watch something that we all paid like $30 to come watch this stupid movie. And you're being obnoxious. Like, if you don't want to sit and watch and, like, be quiet for an hour and a half, which that's the other thing. We Live in Time is not a long movie. It's an hour 45. It's
you can't sit still or be quiet for an hour and 45 minutes.
Oh my gosh.
What I don't get
and
either
the pacing
is, like,
also
if you're
is
bored,
so fast.
Get up and leave. Nobody's making you stay.
No.
Get up and leave the theater.
It was just crazy. I was like, it's crazy for me to have to listen to you, like, try to explain to each other what's going on because you have been missing the plot because you're sitting here being actually obnoxious, and this is a 90-minute movie, and why are you here? Why are you here? So, anyways, but it just was crazy to me that they were, like, probably 16, 17, because they went and went to a car in the parking lot. I was like, what are you talking about? You're way too old.
Yeah, I think, and I've talked about this with my dad before, too, because that's where he's at with, like, because my parents live in a smaller town than I do. So my movie experiences are usually pretty good out here because I go at weird times of the day. And the one that I go to is in the middle of a mall, so nobody's there. And, like, the two movies I've been to that have had pretty packed theaters was Maxine, was pretty packed. But that was a great crowd because it was like opening weekends. Everybody was really excited to be there. And then Deadpool and Wolverine was pretty packed. But again, everybody wanted to be there and everybody wanted to watch it and nobody wanted to ruin it.
Yeah.
And so it's, like, it's different. But, like, for my parents, my dad's like, every movie we go to is insufferable and I'm not paying that kind of money to suffer through it. So we'll just watch it at home. And that's where I'm like, bring back ushers. Pay some high school kid like $16 an hour or whatever the minimum wage is wherever you are, and make them stand in that theater and watch that movie, and watch the crowd and make sure or check in, every couple minutes. I would much rather watch an usher enter and exit the theater multiple times than have someone like screaming, laughing next to me, or like you had that experience in the theater in our college town. That girl that was laughing at like the weirdest parts of that movie, like, like I would much rather be interrupted with that, or like when I went to the film festival in France, like of course that's a higher standing of like, be civil during the showing, but the ushers are in the theater. They are standing there in the theater, watching the crowd, making sure nobody's on their phone, making sure like, of course it's a film festival, but like I loved that experience because it felt like, people who are stupid are going to get taken out. And like, that's not my problem.
It's so frustrating to me now. Like, I think...
Like, pay some high school kid to stand there.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll tip him. I will give him a tip.
Oh, 100%. 100%. I would be so grateful for that. Because part of it, too, is... And this is not my fault because it shouldn't have happened, period. But part of it, too, is that the last 2 experiences I've had at the theater have been really bad, and they were during the weekend. I never go see movies during the weekend. Ever. I mean, I don't even know that we really did that when we were going to see movies together. But
no,
I am, like, very...
Or if we did, it was like, really late in the evening.
Yeah, so there was less people there. But, and also, we were doing it in a college town, so there's not as many people at the movies on the weekend late.
Like a Saturday night.
Yeah, compared to, like, now where I live, it's a lot of families and high school kids and whatever, so you get a lot of people at the movies on the weekend, and, but, yeah, that was part of the issue, I know, is because it was during the weekend, because every viewing experience I've had where I live now, going to the theaters, like, I try to go like Tuesday to Thursday is really pleasant because no one is there. No one is there. Yeah. Or the people that are there is like genuine old people or like middle-aged couples. Like there is not children there. There's not high schoolers there. There's not whatever. So they've been really pleasant viewing experiences. So that was partially on me, is that in my head I was like, well, Sunday's safe because where I live is a lot of younger people and families, and like people have school. So I was like, there's probably not going to be anybody at this movie on Sunday night, but that was the wrong call. So I'm just not going to do that anymore, I guess. But it was just frustrating. I don't know. And the movie was actually really good, so I do recommend you go see it. I know that there's been a lot of people, I was reading some Letterboxd stuff and whatever afterwards. It was people being like, I don't know, this like didn't really resonate with me. I think that maybe I was already partial to it because I already feel extremely emotionally connected to Andrew Garfield. So I think that maybe that was true. Like if it was a different actor, if it wasn't Andrew Garfield, then maybe I would be less affected. But there's something about his face that is so gut-wrenching to me. And like watching him do his face for like 90 minutes was like, oh my gosh, this was horrifying.
Do his face,
for 90 minutes was like, wow, that was brutal. And same for Florence Pugh. I just think that she's really charming and easy for me to get on her wave of whatever character she's playing, even within the time constraint.
Even if the story isn't like amazing, they're still two really good actors, so I could just kind of watch whatever they want to do.
And I think I really liked the story. Like their chemistry is great. The story is totally gut-wrenching.
It's like a tragedy.
Yeah, I had I was talking to one of our mutual friends about it because they asked me how it was, and so I was telling them about like the actual movie, and they asked me to rank it in comparison to my reaction to Iron Claw and I Saw the TV Glow, which I thought was funny. But in my opinion, in comparison to those two, it's less than the Iron Claw, but it's probably about equal to I Saw the TV Glow, if not stronger for the reaction that it made me have, because it's a different type of like being upset. Like I Saw the TV Glow was a lot of like internal, identity and the way that you, they had some overlapping themes, but you know what I mean. That's a lot about like your identity and whatever. And this movie is about time. and how fleeting it is, and how just like optimizing it, and I don't know, it made me like have a full freak out about just time and the way that works in your life.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that this movie too, like, I don't know, I sound stupid, but I feel like it was one of those moments where I could zoom out and be like, oh my gosh, human beings are like animals. I don't know if that makes sense. I don't know if that makes sense. Like,
well,
it did a good job, well, obviously, but it did a good job of like removing all the, for me, making me be able to like strip away all the like complexity of being a person compared to being an animal, just to be like, okay,
right.
no, we all have these like innate things that we want, and like time is so fickle, and it doesn't matter how,
like the fruit fly thing where it's like literally we only live for like 3 days.
Yeah.
Genuine.
And it's like, it doesn't matter how big and bad you think that you are as a human being. At the end of the day, you're still just a human being. Like, I don't know if that makes sense.
We are monkey.
We are.
Yeah.
It just was that of like, you can do all these
I
great
get that
things
every
with
time
your
I
life.
look at a chimpanzee. I'm like, damn, yeah, that's twin.
And I don't know if that's what they were trying to get from me, but it was just that moment of,
no, but I'm
like,
sure it's probably close. Of like, literally, you have a set amount of days.
yeah,
and
like
I saw this
empathizing
like
with people
stupid
in a
tweet that
different
was
way.
like, what you do during the day is like what you do for your life, or so. It was like one of those quotes where it's like, whatever you spend your time with during the day is how you are spending your life.
Yeah.
And this girl was like, damn, I'd be spending, they're like, damn, my life's sick as hell. I'm smoking and watching New Girl on the TV. And I was like,
exactly.
yeah,
But it just
true.
was, I don't know.
I want to see it. I think I'll I'm not usually one for like, these kinds of like romantic tragedies, if that makes sense.
No,
Like,
I mean,
I'm not really
I'm
like
not.
yeah, like, I don't know. I think part of it is like, it just feels a little bit too soap opera-y to me sometimes. Like, like Iron Claw is different because, well, one, it wasn't a romance movie, but two, like, that's a movie where like genuinely it had such an interesting, like, there was an appeal there, not just because it was very, very sad, but also it was like, that environment, that high intensity environment of like not only family dynamic but wrestling and like sexy people.
Yeah.
But also the Iron Claw is a movie where it's like, I'm not touching that shit for another couple of years.
Well,
and so like that's why I think it's funny, like that is literally my threshold now for like how movies affect me, because stuff like The Substance makes me like, fuck yeah, this is why I like movies.
Yeah.
And stuff like The Iron Claw is like, damn.
This is why I hate movies.
I am not watching this shit ever again.
Yeah.
But like, for I Saw the TV Glow, like I want to watch that movie again, but I'm gonna wait on it a little bit more because I can't do that again right now. But or like Beautiful Boy, like your magnum opus of like, I can't watch this movie. Like, I'm not gonna turn on Beautiful Boy and like
no, definitely not.
chill out and vibe. But like, but that is a movie that I would watch again. Maybe, I don't know when, but I would do it if I like felt like it. But it is just kind of funny though, right? Where it's like, that's why sometimes I really like movies like that are just so gut-wrenchingly sad, because it's like hilarious to me that a group of like 16-year-old girls can go and giggle during it.
Yeah.
And then it'll make me feel like,
well, and when you
I need to go for a drive.
Yeah, I was gonna say, when you watch it and you get the actual plot, I think too, like, thinking about them will be even more frustrating, because I just was like, I don't understand how you can sit here and like giggle and laugh through this whole movie when I think like it was not Iron Claw levels, like I can never watch this again, or I can't watch this for this amount of time or whatever. But it did a really good job of like, I didn't watch Marriage Story, but I want to call it like normal Marriage Story, even though it's not at all. But in terms of, I don't really like tragic romances either, because I think the stakes are so high, and like the stakes are high in this movie too. But at the same time, what was so appealing and so upsetting about this movie is that they make both of the characters so normal, and their relationship is so normal that like it doesn't feel like this. Like, they clearly love each other, but it's not this, like, larger-than-life romance. It's like, oh, no, this is a very, relatable
human average,
yeah, this is a really
normal.
relatable like
Yeah.
connection, and they clearly love each other very much, and they both have these they're both complex characters, and they have these beliefs about the world, and they love each other, but they like think differently, and sometimes they're at odds and whatever, but it just felt so normal that's why it was so much more upsetting. Because it was like, you're such normal people living such normal lives, and I think that's why it resonated so much for me, was because it was like, this is not famous actor and famous writer getting divorced, and they're having this argument about how much they hate each other in their multi-million-dollar apartment and whatever. It was like, no, these are two people who are living in this like home together, and it's very homey and cute, and they have very normal families, and they have just very normal lives, and they're still afflicted with these things that are... It was more frustrating because a lot of the issues they have are outside of their control. It's like, so you're totally, for the most part, your relationship is fine, and you're doing everything right, and things are still, like, life is working against you still, and there's nothing you can do about it, or anyone can do about it to fix it. And you still have the same finite amount of time as anybody else. But as opposed to in other romances sometimes, where... That's why I don't really like those movies that much, is because I feel like too often these people are fighting or breaking up or whatever over something that just feels so stupid, and is like, when you think about it in the context of what this movie is doing, which is just like, you only have this amount of time. This is how much time you have. And you're going to use that time to fight about something that doesn't matter. Or to whatever. Then why are you together? Then why am I watching this movie about you? I don't care. Your time is so finite. If you don't like each other, or if this is unresolvable, then first of all, that's stupid, because think about how insignificant this issue probably is in the grand scheme. But also move on. Like, who has the time to waste? I don't know. It was super upsetting. So yeah, I cried extremely hard all through the entire movie, pretty much. And then I drove to CVS and cried for 45 minutes after the movie as well.
Cause life's so fun.
Life's so fun. Cried for 45 minutes.
Yeah.
There's no self-checkout at the CVS by my house.
Aww.
So I had to get checked out.
You went to CVS post-movie? What did you get?
I needed lotion.
What were you there for?
Lotion.
Oh.
So I could shower. Yeah, so you can imagine what I looked like with my wet t-shirt contest, but it was just
not the worst
not
thing I'm sure those CVS people have seen.
Well, that's true.
They see some things.
That's true. But anyways, yeah.
Do you think I'm gonna have the same reaction when I see Joker?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm debating. I might go see that tonight. I don't know.
Let me know if you like it. I'm going to be honest, I still haven't seen the first one. And now that the second one's gotten so much flack, I was feeling really motivated before because I was super excited for this one. And now that everyone's kind of like, I'm like, well...
I think what you need to do is you need to treat Joker like how you've been treating these other really intense movies. Watch it in parts.
Okay.
But I think you do need to watch it for the culture because, first of all, Batman.
Of course.
And which technically he is in Joker, so that's a plus. There's a child Bruce Wayne.
Well, can I be honest though? I'm thinking about...
There's little boy Bruce Wayne in Joker who he talks to for like 2 minutes.
I'm thinking about Dooning
He like yells at him actually. Dooning it?
Yeah.
What do you mean? Like when it gets re-released in theaters?
No. Like you weren't watching any of the Dunes until they're all out and not in theaters anymore for whatever reason.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Now that the second one is out, I'm doing what you were doing where you were like, well, when the second one comes out in theaters, I'll watch the first one and then see the second one. And then you didn't do that. So what I'm doing is I was doing the exact same thing, and then now that this one is in theaters, I'm like, well, maybe I'll just watch them both at home when they come out.
Well, I don't want my... I'm trying to think of, like, should we make, like, a like a pact, like I'll sit through Dune, but then I don't want that to. I don't want Joker.
Crazy time commitment. Also, you're committing like 8 hours of movie watching, and I'm committing like 3.
Yeah. No, but I don't want Joker to be my. Like, you like Dune.
I did like Dune.
I don't really give a shit about Joker. Maybe I'll really like the second one. But I don't know. I'm just such a. I
would really like Joker.
I love Lady Gaga and I love Harley Quinn. So I was really excited when the news dropped. But now I'm like. So I don't know.
I will say.
The Joker is me!
Yeah, I don't. When they first put out stuff about how this one was going to be a jukebox musical vibe, I was a little bit like, I don't know, but maybe, because
ain't that a kick in the head?
Like, that's probably fine. But I don't know. I think too, I was listening to I think it was maybe not, maybe I'm lying. I think it was Raiders of the Last Podcast, or whatever that Lost Podcast. Raiders of the Last Pod. I don't remember what their name of the show is compared to the movie. It doesn't matter. I was listening to them. Everybody knows them. And they made a comment about, I think it was them, about everyone is already giving, this was before the movie was even out, everybody is already giving so much hate to this movie that's not even out yet, or it had just come out maybe, like it was release weekend, and they were like, there's all this hate for this movie, and I can't help but think, before even seeing it, that maybe it's not a bad movie, and maybe this is just the result of, what is the director of this movie? What's his name? I'm blanking.
Todd Phillips?
Yeah, maybe Todd Phillips is just trying to make a movie that totally subverts the wants of the audience of the first Joker, because it was associated with such, like, incel, online, whatever. So they were like, maybe that's what all the flack is that the audience of the first Joker obviously really liked it, carried over to this one, and it's completely subverted from the original. So they're just immediately being like, we hate this. But maybe it's not bad. It's just not for you, because he was frustrated that you thought the first one was for you.
Yeah. I'm interested to see kind of the... I mean, I know... Well, I got it spoiled, so I know how it ends. But, I'm interested to see that kind of messaging, though, because I think it's genuinely going to follow beat for beat what happened, which is that, you know, people take the message of the first one and run with it the way that they want to,
right?
Which is kind of what's happening in the second one, is that now that he's known as the Joker and people are like, I like what I'm picking up what you're putting down, it runs away from him, and he's like, this isn't what I really meant. But that's what my problem with the first one was. And I don't know if it's because... Well, we've talked about this, I think. But, like, me and my dad felt the same way. Because we're both big Batman fans. Of the Joker is not meant to be taken as a literal human being.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't care what that argument is that people make. Of, like, he is human. It's like, he's, first of all, a fake comic book character. So let's start there.
Right.
But, like... He's not supposed to be, like, you know, I've read some, like, not to be that person, but, like, I had a huge Harley Quinn phase. I read a bunch of comic books with the Joker, obviously, because she's his woman. But, like, yeah, there's some storylines where he gets, like, you know, he gets caught up with the wrong people, and that's how he becomes a Joker, and da-da-da-da. First of all, he's not real, but second of all, like, I don't like watching movies where a character that I know is literally the worst person is like getting beaten up and crying in the corner, and I'm supposed to feel bad for him.
Yeah,
like, not in any kind of way, but it's like I've never seen another movie where somebody it would be like watching The Apprentice, like the Donald Trump movie, and being like, oh, I feel bad for Donald Trump.
Yeah,
like that's not that's not what I'm supposed to do. Like that's actually genuinely the opposite. Like I want to see Joker get the shit beat out of him,
right,
by Batman,
right,
by a sexy Batman,
of course,
which doesn't happen. So we were both kind of like, you know, I get like it's an origin story movie, and that's fine, but it's like, you know, you can have movies like the Venom movie, that's the last Venom is coming out, or like, you know, there was even Morbius. Like, yes, they're villains, but they're not like. It's a different vibe where you're like, oh yeah, whatever, like you're beaten down and whatever, I feel bad. But with Joker, it was like trying to be this weird like drama, like tragedy, and he's supposed to be like, I don't know. And I think that's why like all this like incel culture kind of took to it like water, because they were like, oh my god, like, you know, yeah, the Joker's like, he's just like me, and it's like, no, he's not. He fell. Yeah. Well, not in this movie, but literally, my man's origin story is he fell into a vat of acid.
Yeah. I don't think that getting rejected by your high school crush is the same level of trauma as falling into a vat of acid.
Falling into a vat of acid. After being going to an insane asylum,
and also your wife and child dies.
There's that one origin story where his wife and child get murdered by the mafia that he was involved in, where he was Red Hood and like all this stuff, which is why he like beats up Jason Todd. Like, guys, it's a whole thing. It's like trying to make like, I don't know, like what's the Superman, like General Zod? It's like trying to make an origin about General Zod being like a normal person. It's like, I don't give a fuck. Right. I want to see him get beaten to shit by like a super sexy Batman to the brink of death, but he's not going to kill him because that's not who Batman is.
Right.
Like, that's why I thought the second one would be a lot more enjoyable for me, because it's like, oh, we actually get to see him like doing crazy shit and like ruining people's lives. And ruining Harley's life, because that's what he's supposed to do, is turn her into, you know, the amazing, you know, awful, brutal person she is. We all
saw Suicide Squad 2016.
Look at Gaga. She's the creative director of Polaroid. Like, come on. So I'm hoping it does that. My only expectation is that I just want to see him ruin people's lives, and I don't feel bad for him. That's all I wanted out of the Joker movie. Was like, I want to see you on the brink of like, okay, I'm just going to start being an awful person. But then they turn it into this weird, like, you'll just have to watch it. But they turn it into this weird, like, he like has this, I don't want to spoil it. But like, it becomes like a weird mental thing with the people he's around, where he's like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that to you. It's like, no, bitch. You're supposed to want to do this. This is not supposed to be something that you're like, I don't want to be the Joker. No.
Well, and maybe there's some redemption for those choices. Yeah, maybe there's some redemption for those choices.
I hope
in this
so,
one, since
because I was so unhappy
what
with
I've
the first one.
heard and seen, that like Todd Phillips is directly like not trying to serve that audience of people.
I think he said like he was like I didn't want to make the second one. It's crazy.
He did. Wait, say it again.
I think he said like not flat out, but it kind of gives the vibe of like he did not want to make another one, but felt like he had to kind of end the storyline. Yeah. Or I mean, this is what my dad said, but I asked my dad about it.
Well, but I wonder if he didn't want to make another one. I don't think he wanted to make the reception.
I think so, because I think, you know, I appreciate wanting to take this like really famous character and make it like an actual genuine movie, right? And he got the Oscar for it, whatever, that's great. But there's a certain expectation with a character like that, I think, where you can't just expect like everyone to enjoy this movie that way and then get upset when a certain crowd takes to it a certain way because of the way that, I don't know, like, how do you not know that is the culture, especially a comic book character, especially a character for fucking nerds and geeks and freaks are gonna take to this movie like you are and be like, oh my god, this is the best movie ever, like, this is my Joker, like, I don't know. And you could totally see like where like with the Batman, with that movie, it's like, okay, this is a movie where I forget now the name of that director, but like they loved Batman, and you could tell. Because I don't feel bad for Bruce Wayne in this movie, because he's still kind of like a, you know, messed up jerk.
Wait,
but
in
like,
which movie?
The Batman, the new one.
The Batman, Matt Reeves.
Pattinson. Yes, Matt Reeves. Like, you can tell with his comic book adaptation, it's a drama. It's an action drama. Like, there is pain and suffering and violence, but I'm not looking at the Riddler like, oh,
no.
Like,
No,
I'm so sorry
but
this happened to you. Like, you're making
like,
people get eaten by rats. Like,
I was gonna say, you still dislike him, but at the same time, you get his backstory, and like,
you understand why he's doing it.
Right, there has got to be, like,
but with Joker, you're just like, ugh.
Right, and I didn't see the new one, so I can't, I'm not making comment on that necessarily, but I just mean in general. Like, I think I have a little bit of sympathy, I guess, for directors who are, like, taking on those stories, because I can imagine that it's probably difficult to want to make, like, an actual substantive story where you're able to do stuff. Like, you need to be able to give context, and I think that it makes things, like, it is a comic book, I know that, but I think it makes things resonate more if you're able to recognize, like, what is this kind of representing from reality, you know? Mm-hmm. And the reality is that not always, but for the most part, people who are bad people or people who are doing bad things are not just evil out of nowhere.
Except for the Joker. That's what was pissing me off.
Right.
That is
but I think it's frustrating,
the character.
Like, you're put in an impossible situation, like, to make a substantive movie when you have to, like, somehow deliver that message and, like, give backstory without idolizing, or not with you idolizing this person necessarily, but without setting it up for audiences to idolize this person, and also make it, like, a likable movie. I don't know.
Yeah.
I just feel like that's probably super hard. And I don't know what the right
I'm
way to
sure
do
it is.
is.
That was what was so frustrating, was it's like, this is literally the one character where he's just crazy. And I don't care about why he's crazy. I just need him to be crazy. And they give you, like, they just keep punching you in the face with it, where they're like, he's got this medical condition that makes him laugh. No, he doesn't. He's just fucking psycho. Like, I don't, what are we doing? Like, that just, I don't know. That's why it's like, for this new one, it'll be interesting, because it's not just about him. It's also about her.
Right.
So I'm excited about that. Because that's where it falls into play too, right? Where it's like, if you're a director and you're taking this on, like, I implore them to know, like, I hate to sound like that, but it's like, follow the plan of who this character is and why they do the things they do. And understand that there are some characters out there that just kind of are like that. And I just hate the fact that they had to turn it into this, like, humanized drama where it's like, he, you know, is from this background and he had this and this and this happen and It's like, no, that's a crazy person. Just let that crazy person be crazy. Because look at, like, The Dark Knight. Like, he's just fucking psycho.
Even, like,
and he has that moment where he's like, my dad, but it's like, no, we don't care about that. Like, you're just a psycho who, like, he burns the money. What was that? You know, like, I wanted
well, what
more
is
of that. I wanted a Joker that's just kind of, like, just has literally, like, it has everything planned out, but because he just doesn't care. Like, he just wants to watch the world burn.
What is the name of the animated movie where he is the Red Hood? Is it... I don't remember what it's called. It's not Under the Red Hood, I don't think that's... Is that the Jason Todd one?
I think it is. Yes, but I think they do I think that's the parallel where it starts with... I know, I get them all confused because they're all, like, the same animation style, but...
And they're
Killing
all
Joke is the one with Barbara Gordon.
Yes.
I don't remember if his storyline about being Red Hood is in that one, but I think Under the Red Hood starts with Arthur having the wife. Yes, with Arthur having the wife, and then he gets caught up in, like, the mafia, and they make him, isn't it where, like, they make him, like, do, like, a stick up or something, and he has to wear the hood, and then they beat the shit out of him and drop him into the vat of acid, and then he becomes the Joker. And then when Jason Todd comes around, that's why he does it to him, and that's why he becomes the Red Hood, is because he's, like, traumatized by the Joker because he's fucking crazy. But I don't think that's in The Killing Joke, because I think The Killing Joke's just about Barbara Gordon.
Wait.
The whole thing with her, which is crazy.
Maybe I'm. Oh no! Sorry.
I'm waiting for the day they put that into the live action, or the Jason Todd. That one also might be. I know the Death in the Family. Death in the Family is the comic book where that happens, but I want that. Like, if you're gonna make a dramatic, traumatizing like Batman story,
that's what I was gonna say. Is that I even think though that they could have done Joker. Like, they could have done Joker if they wanted to reference his, like, what made him the Joker.
It could have been so much sad.
You could have done it the way that they do it in the comic book and in the animated adaptation, which is that he has his wife and child. He needs money to support them. They die. He's stuck doing this thing. And then in that, he's still not a redeemable character because he does have, like, a mental break, which then makes him the way he is. But it's not a gradual transformation. It's like, okay, right now I'm also like good, or I'm morally gray because I'm willing to do some stuff to support my family. Right. And then he gets dropped in the vat of acid, and then he's bad. Like, that is it's like I wanted more of that, right? Where it's like you're irredeemable because nothing matters to you anymore because you've lost everything. Do that. You know, like I wish there was more of that. Because he's not Joker, waffling. It's not like he's good and he's bad and he's good and he's bad. It's like he has nothing to lose, and now he's bad.
He just is a loser. He's just a loser. Like, that's why it's like, oh my god, bro. Like, he just starts as he's already beaten by society. He's kind of like the Riddler, where it's like he started as like having nothing, and then just keeps getting beaten and beaten and beaten and beaten, and that's where he reaches the breaking point. And it's like, great, but. So why do I care about it then? I care about you because you have nothing? Like, that just makes for such a boring character. It's like, I mean, I understand that there's people like that and that's whatever, but it's just like,
sure.
I don't believe you. I don't believe you that you have a disorder that makes you laugh at the wrong times. You work as a clown, which is where you got the Joker persona. Okay. Yeah. And you just start killing people because you're just bent out of shape. And like, I'm supposed to be like, yeah. That was also weird. It's like, oh, I am not rooting for the Joker bit. We're not doing that. Like, as a bit, sure, but
of course.
But then you introduced Bruce Wayne to me, so now I'm hyper focused on Bruce Wayne. Because you said here's child Bruce Wayne and Alfred, and Joker's gonna go up to him and talk to him and try to, like, whatever. And now I'm like, well, is he gonna grow up? Where's the time jump?
Yeah.
Where's Batman? Hello? And then there's no Batman. So I don't care. I'm over it. It's like with the Venom movies. I'm like, where's Spider-Man? There's no Spider-Man?
Yeah.
Okay. Don't care. At least the new Kraven the Hunter movie, like, Aaron Taylor Johnson's sexy. But, like, I'm not watching this new Venom. I'm sorry. I just don't care anymore about
Kraven the Hunter is that I saw the trailer for that recently. It doesn't look good either. It doesn't
No, it's going to be bad.
And he is so sexy, but...
Because it's just kind of boring without Spider-Man. It's just boring.
Telling me. You are telling me.
I know. I'm preaching to the choir.
Everything in my life is boring without Spider-Man.
I've been preaching to the choir for the past half hour.
No, but it's okay. Sometimes
you make the Joker,
and then you have to. He has to. No, but I agree. Because
you know what's silly too is like, I've been having moments lately where I'm like, damn, I really am just like a 14-year-old boy, because the Dodgers are in the World Series right now, winning the World Series, by the way, and it's just kind of goofy because like I work with a lot of guys, and you know, like I'll ask them about like updates for the game or whatever. And the first game in the World Series, the Dodger baseball team. I had nothing to do with it. I'm their starting pitcher, there. Of course.
Identity
I'm actually
reveal.
Dave Roberts. I'm the manager. Yeah. I'm the manager. But the other day, what was it? Oh yeah, so it was like 3-2 Yankees, and Freddie Freeman, one of our players, hit a grand slam, which is when the bases are loaded and you hit a home run and everybody gets to go home, right? So it was like a big thing whenever I was at work. And I was talking to one of the guys and I was like, oh, that's so cool. Like the grand slam, I think it's like the first time it's happened in the World Series, like, or at least like game 1 of the World Series. Like, that's awesome. And like, I I was saying, like, how cool it was that the announcer, I don't remember the guy's name, I'm so sorry, but who says, you know, like, Freeman just hit a grand slam, whatever, did it in the same way that Vin Scully did the last time that it happened. So it was kind of like a cool, like, callback to that, and it was, like, nice for Dodger history and, like, all this stuff. And he just was kind of looking at me. And I was like...
Did you know the Joker beat Jason Todd to death with a crowbar? That's what you should have said.
Exactly! That's how it felt, bro. I was like, oh no. I just inceled. Oh no.
It's crazy.
I had that moment.
When you incel harder than the actual men in your life. It's crazy.
That's what happened. I'm being dead serious. That's exactly how it felt. I was like, I kind of looked at myself and I was like, damn. I almost wanted to go, anyway, when's the next game?
Oh,
when do they? How many games are?
When did they?
Like, you know,
right.
Like, I wanted to be like, how many games are in the World Series again? Yeah, I had that moment where I was just like,
it's okay. It's okay. We've talked about this before. We are 14-year-old boys.
I know,
with different interests and overlapping interests, and
but some exactly. Exactly. Like, it's like the opposite of queening out. Whatever the opposite of queening out is, like, I incelled out. to the point where I talked so much about something so hyper specific, including sports, that the man that I was speaking to zoned out.
You know who would have got it?
Like, I like mansplained Dodger baseball history.
You know who would have been there? My stepdad. You know he's really into, like, that is the level of... I was trying to explain to our mutual friend this weekend.
We're also soul twins in that way, me and your stepdad.
Oh, his level of...
The way that he's a...
Sports
he's a mom,
like,
I'm a dad.
He is the, like, you know, people are like human computers or like human calculators.
Yes.
That's him with sports facts. Genuinely. Like, you could be like, who threw
I'm not like that.
the winning touchdown in 1956
because y'all do the Trivial Pursuit.
The, you know, Rose Bowl.
Yeah.
And you don't even have to say like names or teams or anything. And he would be like, oh, that was number 58. And he just has it. I'm like, I don't know I don't know where you store that. I don't know how you know that.
No, because, well, what's funny too is, like, I watched a video where they, like, compared it. So that's what I was talking about. But then when I heard myself talk about it...
He would have been all over that, though. He would have been all over that.
God damn. Like, I was like, I just... It just is so funny because, I mean, this is, like, one of the rare jobs I've had where I work with more men than women. Mm-hmm. So, like, when I'm queening out with the girls, I'm not talking about fucking Joker, bitch. Like, we're talking about...
Well...
we're talking about literally anything else.
That's queening out when it's between us.
Right.
Queening out with Aristotle, Joker breakdown.
Yeah. Joker
analysis.
Breakdown style. Having a breakdown about the Joker breakdown, honestly, is what just happened. But it just was so
you
silly.
You just became Joker.
Wow. I did.
From complaining about it.
Literally.
That's our adaptation.
No, but it just was funny. I was like, so this is what, if anything, I, like, had empathy for, maybe this was, you know, this is how they felt for the Joker, but, like, I had empathy for those poor girls that have to sit through those guys, like, mansplaining shit like that to them, because I was like, wow, his eyes just glazed over for real. And it wasn't even that long of a conversation. I think I talked for, like, maybe 30 seconds. Like, however I explained it to you just now was the extent of what it was with him, and he was like, yeah. Yeah, cool. Wow, that's so cool. Like, oh. Oops.
Oh, that's my bad, actually.
Oops. And I don't know if it was like... That's where sometimes, too, I'm like... Are you a fucking bandwagon? Because I'm not gonna sit here and call you out, but, like... Are you just kind of trying to, like, blend in with, like, all the rest of the guys that are talking about, like, World Series stuff? Like, I wasn't trying to, like... You know, be like, oh, I know more than... I just was like, isn't that cool? Like, that's kind of fun. I don't know if you knew that.
Yeah.
Because I thought that was cool. It just happened. Like, it happened, like, 5 minutes prior. And it just was kind of silly. Like, it was like, oh. But sometimes I love when that happens, especially when it comes to like stupid shit like Batman, where it's like, you open that can of worms in front of me.
Yeah, it's over. It's so
and I'm
over.
not going to shut up. And I'm not going to shut up about it, which is why it's awesome for us, because the two of us are like,
yeah, let's talk about it for 2 hours.
like,
I'm game.
Exactly. Like, I talk to anybody else about it, and they're like, I don't know what. Who is Jason
way too
Todd?
much thought. Yeah, exactly. You're putting way too much thought into comic books from
or they're like,
20 years ago.
What is the website? And I'm like, God damn it. I'm like, you guys. And
what
they're like,
is the website?
What is a like? They're like, oh no, sorry, I don't listen to BTS. I'm like, oh, God damn it.
Me either. That's the worst part.
My life is so hard. Yeah, exactly. And then I have to be like, oh, I don't either. When is the next game of the World Series? That's crazy. So brutal. I need to go outside more, I think. Was the answer to this. That's usually
this episode
how it
was
goes.
about.
We're gonna be insufferable on our
cleaning
little
out
vacay
about
together.
the Joker.
I worry that like, what is it? What is that movie? Maybe I'm making it up in my head, but I feel like there's some sort of myth or movie or something where it's like the longer we're apart from each other, like the next time I see you, we're like gonna get like a matching tattoo or something, and then like the next time I see you, like we're gonna get like glued together somehow. Like it's getting, yeah, this is how it feels. Where it's like the more time we spend apart from each other, the stronger it gets, to the point where it's like after a while of not seeing you, like I'm just gonna like live in your house, I think. To like even out the ratio.
I think you have to. Yeah, it's only right because we're gonna have to fix like the timeline.
Like it's like I don't know what I'm thinking of, but there's something I'm thinking of where it's like the longer we spend apart from each other, it's like the more I'm like, okay, I have to like be in your skin, I think. Like substance my way into your body, I think. Yeah, or like that episode of Wizards of Waverly Place when Harper and Alex like share a brain.
Oh, 100%.
And she's like stuck, in her body, but like stuck in her body with her. Like I'm just gonna have to figure out how to do that.
Yeah.
Because it makes me like I get off of this podcast. I end this podcast with you, and I'm like, wow. I can feel the empty hole in my heart. Like, that's bad.
Till next week or 3 weeks from now, depending.
I know.
Depending on the state of
3 weeks ago when we were close
in the world.
It's crazy. I can't wait for this podcast to get really famous, and then people clip together a highlight reel of just us just talking about how much we love each other. But it's not even like, again, sorry that they're canceled, but it's not even in like a Cody Noel way where it's like, oh, like awkward, like, oh, I missed you, man. Like, damn. Like ours is like, no, I wish I could live inside you.
Like, that is my boy. Yeah.
But that's my boy. That's my dog.
That's my boy. I want to live in your skin.
And that's where the incel boys just don't get it, because they don't have loving wives like I do.
They don't get it.
They don't understand it. Like if you had a loving wife at home, then you would understand the Joker on like a different level. Like, sorry, I just understand him way better than you do.
You do right now.
You guys just don't get it. You just don't understand it. I can't believe you saw I can't believe you saw a couple's costume inadvertently this weekend that was the Joker and Spider-Man. Isn't that what it was? That was
it was Patrick Bateman. It was Patrick
I'm sorry, it was Patrick Bateman. Yeah, that's what it was. I'm sorry, it was Patrick Bateman and Spider-Man,
it's fine.
Which is adjacent.
It was crazy, and these
was heartbreaking.
Young men were following
that's
each
a
other
couple's
around
costume
all night.
That's
all
us.
night. I said, you have no idea that you're me and my brother in different bodies.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Can we Freaky Friday into them?
I would be down. Did you see them?
I know. That's the worst part too.
They were sexy.
What's that Squidward? That's Squidward.
Part.
Oh no, he's hot.
No, he's hot.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. No, you sent me that. I immediately zeroed in on what the main focus was of the picture. I was like, ooh.
Oh yeah. Trust. As soon as that Spider-Man walked into the bar, I said, "Oh no."
Your Spidey senses went.
No. My spidey senses went off, but then what's worse is that my second set of senses went off, which is my gay senses, and he's gay for sure. That's what was upsetting.
Wow.
But then I was hoping they were gay together, but I don't know if that was true. I was writing fan fiction in my head about it.
At my job, we see a lot of people in Spider-Man costumes, and they do the thing where they wear the, what is it? Peter B. Parker from the animated one, where he's got like the Spider-Man suit on, but he wears like sweatpants.
Yeah.
The one that's like training Miles.
I mean, what?
And so I see. I don't know.
I haven't seen like 200 cosplayers of those. Like,
I don't know who Spider-Man is. I mean, what? That's crazy. But what's funny is that they all come in wearing the sweatpants. So I'm like, what? But then I see, you know what? This is bad. This is very incel of me. This is very bad of me, but I have to say it. Love when a man comes in a Spider-Man costume, right? We get plenty of Miles Moraleses. We get plenty of, I saw Spider-Punk the other day, and he did his afro, like, he, like, I don't know if it was, like, gel or what, but he, like, spiked it to where it had, like, the Liberty spikes. Isn't that what they're called? Mm-hmm. The punk spikes, you know what I'm talking about? So he, like, gelled his hair. Yeah. That was super cool. Spikes. Like, he did, like, they weren't, like, dreads, but it was, like, I don't know, he, like, fashioned it that way. It was really cool. So we had, like, a Spider-Punk, again, in the sweatpants, though. I'm like, bro, pick a different thing. But when I see the Spider-Women, like the Gwen, I don't know, something about it, I'm like, no.
No, it's really unfortunate because
it's like seeing Batwoman. It's like seeing Batgirl in real life. I'm like, no. Yeah. It's not for you.
Well, the thing is, I've considered being Spider-Man for Halloween, but I'm thinking about putting my
you can be
womanly
Spider-Man.
body.
It just doesn't work. I'm sorry.
But think about, in the least gay way possible.
For me, it doesn't
think
work.
about my womanly body in the Spider-Man costume. Like, it's not gonna look the same. They're gonna be like, the abs look like not right. Something's seriously wrong. the shape of this is looking.
Why do you have masculine abs? One of those like padded ones?
Why do you have moves,
you know, like the
right now?
like the Superman ones where it gives you like huge pecs and it's like.
That's what I'm saying. They'd be like, why do you? No, I'm thinking even just the like really tight suit where there's no padding.
Latex ones.
Just like.
Yeah.
Just the like cotton Party City ones.
And you're like a little too bloated and they're like, like you had pizza before.
Also just
and like, are you I'm like, I'm Spider-Man before he got bit. Yeah.
Like
You know, I don't know. It feels terrible of me, but it was just
Spider-Man
like I
from
see
the
like the
look-alike
girls.
contest.
I know there was no female Timothy Chalamets there. I was actually really depressed about that. I was like, where are the girls? I know they're out there.
I know they're there. Yeah.
Not one woman was like, I'm gonna go to the Timothy Chalamet look-alike contest.
Yeah.
You know what I would have entered just for the bit. Don't look anything like him.
100%. No, not at all. But that's okay.
Or like do the thing where you like print out a mask and just wear the mask.
Yeah.
Staple it to my forehead. But no, I don't know what it was, but I just was like, I see the girls, because it's like they do the couples costume, right? Where it's like Gwen and Miles, or I think like it's just like female Spider-Woman. It might be Mary Jane. I actually don't know that lore. I don't know who that is. Whoever Spider-Woman is, and then like Spider-Man. And it's just like, no. But you know what I did see though, was I did see a Deadpool and Wolverine that was a woman as Deadpool, and the guy was Wolverine. I was like, this is all right with me. Nice. I like this.
I like that.
But for some reason, I don't like the spider couple costumes. I don't understand why, but it just rubs me the wrong way. Where I'm like, no, bad.
I know, because it rubs me the wrong way.
You can't dress as that.
Think about Spider-Man having a girlfriend. I don't like that. So
I think that might be what it is. Where it's like if it was like Batman and well, no, because Batman and Catwoman is sexy. But I'm trying to think of like
that's sexy.
Another couple's costume where I would be like, no. It doesn't work.
I just don't want Spider-Man to have a girlfriend
any.
Because
I think that's what it is. I'm like jealous.
To be with him. Yeah, I'm jealous.
Yeah, I think that might be what
jealousy.
it is. I'm probably just jealous of them, but I just don't like seeing it. So don't be a Spider-Man couple's costume in front of me, because I'm gonna judge you. You can be Spider-Man, but she has to be someone else. She can be. That's so awful.
Uncle Ben.
She can be something else. That would be sick. Did you see the Oh yeah, it was this cute. It was a cute TikTok. It was like, you're going as Travis Kelce for Halloween, so you would assume that your wife would be like Taylor Swift, and the wife comes out and she's Jason Kelce. So she's rocking like a fake belly,
Patrick Mahomes,
and like a beard. No, that would have been good too, but I loved that costume because it was like, yeah, exactly, exactly. Where they, you know, that whole like classic POV or Travis Kelce, like, you know, who's your wife gonna be for Halloween, and she comes out with like the Gandalf beard and like Oh, I thought it was so good. I'm like, yep, that's what I would do.
100%.
But I'm just sad that we aren't together for Halloween this year. It's like,
I know, but next year we'll.
Like, I was sad when I saw your costume, but then I thought to myself though, and I was like, yeah, but you know what though, this was such a joint sleigh for both of you that I'm okay with it. You picked like the perfect couple's costume to where I was like, I don't even know how I would make this, like, I don't need to be there. You know what I mean?
Well, that's crazy.
Like, I was like, this works.
Casting who you would be if you were there.
Were you? Who did you? Well, I guess we should say for the audience, but Plato was Oliver from Saltburn, and our mutual friend was Felix from Saltburn. So Plato had on like the antlers and like the like party outfit he wears, and then our mutual friend had the wings and just like the wife beater
and tank top and jeans.
Yeah. So who are you fan casting me as?
I think Venetia.
The dirt grave. Is she the sister? The dress, like the dress? Yeah. I was thinking that, or I was like, I could be the poison.
You could be what?
The poison.
That's
poison.
Evil. No, you would have been the sister for sure, because that would have worked for our dynamic.
Yeah.
So.
True, actually. Now that I'm thinking about it. Very true. Ew.
Ew. Damn, alright.
Well,
that's the episode.
Think about the context of the scene that they have together.
No, that's the episode. You hate me. Alright, guys.
As I say, we are just about out of time. But
follow us on TikTok. This is at Plato and Aristotle.
So crazy.
Pod.
Episode 11. Yes. TikTok, and subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Email us.
Follow us here on Spotify. If you're listening to it on Spotify, please give us a rating.
Please.
And yeah, like and subscribe. Comment on our YouTube channel. Let us know what you think. Thank you for listening. I'm sorry that we've been in a little bit of a lull recently, but I had some guests, and it's been kind of crazy. But
it's just been busy. We've been traveling.
We've been working. We've been traveling. And so much is going on right now in the world. It's crazy.
But we're about to be back in a really big way. So.
Yes, this is true. I'm gonna get on. We're gonna get on our grind here, and get back in rock and rolling. But episode 11, Jesus Christ,
it's crazy.
This is crazy.
Yeah. It's crazy. Every week.
When I was editing episode 10, I was like, oh my god, like I have to change like the thumbnail to say 10, and I was like, oh, we're in the double digits. So get ready for triple digits. It's gonna go crazy.
Triple digits.
And then our most recent TikTok, I just posted that TikTok of the Dress to Impress clip, like 1,500 views, which is our
that's awesome.
Most viewed TikTok.
I need to go watch the clips. I haven't seen the clips, the recent ones.
We're getting up there. So, but yeah, thank you so much for listening, and we will catch you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye.